Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. The blackest hearted, blackest minded, blackest man on social media signing black in and shining again, asking you to hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. That being said, I just want to quickly tell you all about one thing, and that is that here, where I'm now visiting, which is Mecca, and where I got through visiting, which is Medina, I noticed a pattern, and I thought about it back in the city in which I live and work, in the neighboring country, and I realized I didn't remember seeing any different from that pattern in the city in which I live and work. And that is this: you have women here that beg. I have not yet seen men around here begging, but you've got women here that beg. To the to the credit of the men here, there are men here that are charitable and they're willing to help these women out. I don't know if these women, and I don't particularly care where these women are from. I heard that they're not from the Gulf. They're heard that if they are from the Gulf, they're usually old women who are widowed, usually. And then the question becomes, what about the kids? And they may have only daughters and no sons, but the question usually be, what happened to the sons? Whatever the case is, whatever the case is, there are men who will help, but I notice how they do it, and I'm going to tell you what it is. I realized in Medina and then in Mecca, these women that are begging don't stop men, and then the man stops and pulls out money and hands it to her. That never happens. They do beg, but these men they speak to never stop and pull out money, my black behind included. What winds up happening instead is that they get approached from a direction they weren't looking. The man comes around their shoulder, puts the money in front of them, and then leaves. So when a man is willing to help out, the kindness of his heart, usually he does it in a way in which she can't even get a very good look at his face, and he's doing it on his terms. And I understand why. This is a region of the world in which you don't stop, women don't stop men unless it's to beg. And some of these men say, you ain't got to stop me to proposition me about that booty, but you ain't going to stop me for nothing else either. And I agree with that mindset wholeheartedly. I don't want women stopping me, propositioning me about that, but, or about getting some of these draws. But by the same token, I'm more insulted when they would never do that, but then they'll turn around and stop because they need to ask for money. What? Why is that my responsibility? What's up with that? She would have better luck stopping me and asking me if I'd be willing to discuss marriage with her and her father, or with her and her uncle, or with her and her brothers. I actually at least would listen to that. Money, I don't want to hear your hard luck story. Got my own problems I got to solve. Got my own responsibilities. I got my own kids, my own wife. Man, shuck that fit. Just give you money for nothing? No. What, you gonna wash my dishes? You gonna clean my place? You gonna do my laundry and my wife's laundry? You gonna do that? Oh, you not? Well, so you asked me to just give you. Now all that's left is for you to bend over my couch. And you probably aren't that appealing. So now what? Now you're talking about me just giving you something for free. But you would never do that for a man to whom you're not related. Hell, you wouldn't do it for a husband. Give him something for free. He a grown man. He's supposed to be providing for you. And that's fair. But why does an unrelated man need to be stopped on his way somewhere else to be bothered when you would have never stopped an unrelated man for anything else? I don't know if I'm explaining the psychology well enough or not, but you ain't going to stop me about this stuff. And that's how many men need to be. We don't give non-sexual attention for free. We don't even give it cheaply. We don't give sexual attention for free or cheaply. Not because we're not heterosexual, but because the major interest needs to be on our own, not just survival, but happiness. Not just survival, but thriving. So, Shuck that fit. Coming to me like, won't you be a hero and feed the, excuse me, won't you be a shiro and offer something of substance to a guy in exchange? I ain't saying it's got to be the draws. But I mean, come think of something. Goodness. That you'll never have to mop your floors again. I don't know. You'll never have to do your own laundry. Something, man. Come on now. I mean, what's going on? So I'll tell you now. For the most part, I like what these men are doing when they do decide to help. And gentlemen, I'm going to tell you how you can translate this into your lives. And then I'm done. I did say this before, but I didn't say it in this context. There are those of you that really do want to help kids out, but not so much their irresponsible mothers. And you may actually feel bitter about the fact that you're not the kind of guy these mothers would have chosen to biologically sire the children, and you have every right to. Because understand, a lot of times in bizarro black America, the worst fathers were not picked to be fathers even though they were the worst, but rather they were picked to be the biological fathers because they were the worst. Understand how important that is. That's a very important thing to understand. They were chosen in many cases because of what made them bad. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been sexually attractive. Because that's the VPS of the Western black woman. Western white woman too, but I'm only talking about the sisters right now. So you actually have a right to be somewhat bitter about that. If you still feel like you would want to help the kids, the way you must do this is as I said before, but now you understand why I'm saying it. You must do it on your terms. And your terms have to be terms that are not favorable to her and her self-image. Okay, you want me to mentor? Forget mentoring. I will raise your kids. Now I'm talking to men who would be willing to do something like this. Let's take someone like George Macon. He's willing to do stuff like that. Okay, the best way for him to do it is, all right, listen, ma'am, I will raise them. You won't have to worry about the future. Unless they just insist on bad decisions, you won't have to worry. I'll take care of that. But I get full rights. You give up custody. I get full rights. Full adoption. I raise them as I see fit. And I don't have to tell them favorable things about you. I could promise you that I will not lie about you. But I don't have to tell them favorable things about you, things you just would want me to say just because you'd want me to say them. No, I don't have to do that because you know doggone further mucking well that you chose his daddy to nut in you raw because he wasn't fit. Your mating selection and your mating criteria, your sexual selection criteria, I have every right to tell your daughter or son was jacked up and got them here in the first place. Oh, that's not acceptable to you? Fit the guck out my face. You can try to raise him or her your way on your own. You a strong, independent black woman, don't need no man for nothing, and you, by your body, your choice, and you got every right to dysgenically breed. Not even just accidentally, but dysgenically, like choose him because he ain't crap to nut in you. And somebody put on FB, I forgot who it was, but it was a ding-a-ling chart. And it pretty much was, I don't know if it was a woman that wrote it or if it was a guy that wrote it, but the chart pretty much showed like 4 different categories of dude based on how trifling they were. No felonies, good job, had his own house and car. He had no ding-a-ling. Next down, he had no felonies, but he didn't own anything. Good dingling. Then he had, he had some felonies, some kids, some prison tattoos. Didn't own anything. He driving your car. Excellent. Give him felonies, child support, chasing him down. He's another one of your children, laying on your couch, driving your car, jacking up your credit, eating up your food, ain't about nothing except committing felonies to go to jail. And that's the dingling that will turn you on your own mama. That's how the chart was written. I don't know if a guy wrote it as a joke, but we know doggone well that that is exactly what the mate selection criteria is in bizarro black America. That's why I can't be pro-black no more. It's not that we're the only group of people in the world to do it. This is a Western problem. But the fact is that we should be the last ones willing to engage in something that's stupid. Yet these sisters are pretty much like, no, we're going to always engage in something that's stupid. Every chance we get, we're going to engage in something that's stupid. That's all we're going to do, and that's who we are. And you're a wimp of a man if you even say anything about it. You just mad and you just bitter because of what you ain't getting. They always frame it that way. When I say always, I mean always without exception. That's exactly how it gets framed. So we as men have every right to say, this is insulting. These terms are insulting. And to look at these men here in the Arab world who do have a sense of chivalry and heroicism and even charity, because this is an obligation on us as Muslims. There's a minimum charity obligation annually. It's not that much, but it is obligatory. I'm not going to go into the terms and conditions, but with all of that being said, these men who would rather defend a woman they don't know than to labor to take care of a woman they don't know, let alone her kids by other men, will help women sometimes who are begging only on their own terms. That's the proper balance between the two extremes of, number one, you better not never help no child that's not yours ever, even out the kindness of your heart. Even if you're inclined, you better never do that. That's one extreme. And the opposite extreme of, well, somebody got to step up and be fathers to these little fatherless kids in the hood, which is the opposite extreme. Like, you have to sit up here and do this for someone. No, you could do this for your nieces and nephews. You could do it for them if your sister chose a no good nigga. Or if your brother was the no good nigga, you could do that out the kindness of your own heart, or you could not. You don't have to. But if you choose to do it because that's still part of your legacy and that is your blood, that's the middle road. But then you still have the right to do this going to either the one that screwed your no good brother and say to and you say to her, listen, I'll do it, but you give up rights. My responsibility, my rights, end of. You knew my brother wasn't nothing. No, I'm not jealous, but you knew he wasn't nothing. I don't have to be nice about it. Or you go to your sister who was screwing no good niggas and say to your sister, you know how you are, you know what you like. I got every right to tell my niece and nephew about how you are. And to tell them what the truth is. The truth is you did their dad because he wasn't crap, not just even though he wasn't crap. That's a very important distinction we need to make. But if you were going to play hero, it is your right because it's your money. But understand that the middle ground between those two extremes and the one that is most likely to actually work best for the children, since that's really what it's about, right? That middle ground is to say to the mother, I will take responsibility if I get full rights. And that means I get to tell them what the actual truth is, whatever I could objectively observe about your mate selection criteria that resulted in you picking for them a daddy that ain't crap. And you don't owe an apology for this. You owe an apology if you actually agree to take on the responsibility for these children that ain't yours and you don't insist on these terms. You will owe the kids an apology because they won't understand how they got here. That being said, thank you for listening. Black heart, black mind, black out. Assalamu alaikum and black heterosexual non-select male power. Just because they don't like it and black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day.